Session 4 of the 2024 Westminster Presbyterian Church Officer Retreat Virtual Style. So far in these videos, we've seen three areas of focus: invitation culture, church hospitality, and scalability. In this video, we're going to be focusing on scalability. Now, what do we mean when we say the word scalability? Well, what I mean by that is, could we continue to do what we do now if we grew? Is it scalable, in other words? So think about congregational care, for example. The pastor in a small church is able to look after a small group of people, and as that church grows, it may be harder and harder for that one pastor to take care of all those people. And finally, it's going to get to a point where he just can't do it anymore. And so the church may think, oh, well, what we'll do is we'll hire more staff to help with the congregational care. But of course, that's going to cost more and more money. That's just not scalable. But think about, for example, how we've been emphasizing life groups. In life groups, we learn together, we invest in each other, we focus on prayer, and we encourage ministry involvement. That investing in one another is really a part of congregational care. So, congregational care may look more like this. There's the pastor and the staff who are taking care of the congregation in some ways, but the major part, or at least the first part of care, comes from the small groups, the life groups themselves. Now, the genesis of this idea actually has a biblical basis. In Exodus 18, Moses is trying to take care of all the people. When the next day came and Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood around Moses from morning till evening, and Moses' father-in-law saw all that he was doing, he said, "What is this that you are doing for the people? Why do you sit alone, and all the people stand around you from morning till evening?" Moses' father-in-law said to him, "What you are doing is not good. You and the people with you will certainly wear yourselves out, for the thing is too heavy for you. You are not able to do it alone." And then Jethro goes on to say how he needs to split up the work. Well, that's basically what we're talking about with life groups. It is more scalable to have life groups do a vast majority of the congregational care than one or several staff members. So the question we have to ask about a lot of things is it scalable? So let's play a game. Let's ask, what if? What if our worship service attendance doubled in the next year? Now, that would be great, right? But think about it. Westminster's seating capacity is 286 persons. Now, according to the church growth gurus, our maximum capacity is usually around 80% full, which would mean our maximum capacity is 228 persons. Now, some church gurus suggest that since COVID, the maximum capacity is now more like 70%. And that would make Westminster's maximum capacity around 200. So, think about it. Our current average is around 150. If we were actually to double in the number of people coming, that would be 300 people. Now, it doesn't take a mathematician to figure out that none of those scenarios that I just talked about, whether it's our maximum capacity or COVID maximum capacity or anything in between, we still don't have enough seats for that. So the seating is not scalable right now. Another thing that church growth gurus talk about is not just when the auditorium is full, but when the parking lot is 80% full, visitors usually stop visiting. Westminster's parking spots right now, we have 102 regular and 6 handicap. If we just count the regular, that would be around 82 parking spaces for 80%, which would mean approximately 164 people. Now, according to that, since we're already averaging around 150 people, we're almost already there when it comes to the number of parking spaces we can have. So that is not really scalable. So what do we do? On the one hand, we could say, well, we're going to have to do some renovations, some building renovations. We're going to have to put more parking spaces and that sort of thing. But we all know that costs money, lots and lots of money. On the other hand, we could go to 2 services, which may stretch us in many, many ways. But this isn't the only area in which we could ask, what if? We could also ask the question, what if we started having 10 to 20 visitors each week? Would we be able to continue showing hospitality to our visitors if we continue to do the exact same thing we're doing right now? What if we saw 20 or more adult conversions over the next 6 months? Is what we're doing now scalable for that kind of growth? What if there is an influx of families with young children? Are our children's ministries, nursery, Sunday school, all of those things, are they scalable for that growth? What if we have a large population of the elderly in our church who are frequently ill? Is the system that we have in place now for caring for those elderly folks who are ill going to work if we have a larger number of those folks? Hopefully all of those what-if questions will push us to recognize that if we want to grow, we will need to think bigger. Now I recognize that all that I've said will raise a lot of questions. And I want to have some time to ask those questions and answer those questions together as a group. So I'm announcing now our 2025 Westminster Presbyterian Church Officer Retreat will be January 24th through 25th at the Newmans. Please put that on your calendar and try your best to make sure that everybody can make it. And in the meantime, please pray. Pray for our church, pray for growth, pray for people to come to faith, and pray that we'll have wisdom to know how to structure our church in such a way that will be scalable for the growth that God will bring.